NIL fanatic. September 30th, 2019, California passes legislation introduced by Senator Nancy Skinner starting in 2023. This prohibits schools from punishing athletes who accept endorsement money while in college. The NCAA called the legislation an existential threat to college amateur sports when it was introduced months earlier. October 29, 2019. The NCAA's Board of Governors agreed unanimously that it is time to modernize its name, image, and likeness rules. The board directed all three NCAA divisions to make rules by January 2021 that allow athletes to make endorsement money while maintaining the collegiate model. April 29, 2020. The NCAA appoints a working group that lays out its suggestions for how Division I should change its rules, including details about the opportunities and restrictions for future athlete deals. The Division I Council formally submitted these proposed changes in November 2020 with plans to put them to a vote in January 2021. June 12, 2020. Florida passed its state law with a scheduled effective date of July 1, 2021. This significantly decreases the time to create a uniform national solution. July 22, 2020. The NCAA president, Mark Allen Emmert, repeats a request for congressional help in creating a federal NIL law while appearing at a Senate hearing in Washington, D.C. Several senators urged Emmert and the NCAA to broaden the scope of their reform efforts if they wanted help from Capitol Hill. August 2, 2020. A group of Pac-12 football players threatens to boycott the season while sharing a list of demands that included giving players a share of athletic department revenue. A similar group of national stars formed a week later and stated its intent to form a college football players association in the future. September 24, 2020. Representatives Anthony Gonzalez, Republican Ohio, and Emmanuel Cleaver, Democrat Missouri, introduced a federal bill that would allow for NIL deals with some restrictions in hopes of keeping endorsements from disrupting the recruiting process. December 10, 2020. Senator Roger Wicker, Republican Mississippi, introduces federal legislation that would allow for some NIL deals and also create an antitrust exemption that would protect the NCAA from some types of future lawsuits. December 16, 2020. The Supreme Court agreed to hear the NCAA's appeal of a federal judge's ruling in the Alston v. NCAA antitrust lawsuit. While not directly related to NIL rules, the Supreme Court's decision in this case could impact how much control the NCAA has in defining amateurism in the future. December 17, 2020. The College Athlete Bill of Rights, introduced Thursday by co-authors Senator Cory Booker, Democrat New Jersey, and Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democrat Connecticut. This bill would create sweeping changes for college sports, including provisions that would force some schools to share revenue with some of their athletes, guarantee lifetime scholarships to athletes in good academic standing, establish health and safety rules enforced by hefty fines for violators, and set up a fund to cover some out-of-pocket medical expenses. For current and former athletes, January 11, 2021. The NCAA's Division I Council decided to indefinitely delay its vote on NIL rules, citing concerns prompted by a letter from the Department of Justice related to the possible antitrust implications of changing its rules. Mark Emmert, the NCAA president, said he was frustrated and disappointed by the delay. February 4, 2021. Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat Connecticut, and Representative Lori Trahan, Democrat Massachusetts, introduced federal legislation that would create a completely unrestricted market for college athlete endorsement deals. April 1, 2021. NCAA President Mark Emmert met with three men's basketball players trying to raise awareness using the hashtag #NotNCAA for what they see as unfair treatment of college athletes. The players asked the NCAA to adopt a temporary blanket waiver that would allow all athletes to make money from endorsement deals next school year while more permanent decisions take shape. June 18, 2021. 6 conference heads, including the ACC, SEC, and Pac-12 leaders, propose a new plan that would make individual schools responsible for creating their own NIL policies. The new proposal surfaced after a pair of Senate hearings in June made it clear that a federal law was not imminent. Last but not least, on June 30, 2021, the NCAA's Board of Directors adopts a temporary rule change that opens the door for NIL activity and instructing schools to set their own policy for what should be allowed with minimal guidelines. And on July 1st, 2021, the first batch of NIL state laws and the NCAA's new rules went into effect. Athletes started signing endorsement deals minutes after the clock struck midnight. NIL fanatic